Hi, everyone. Today, I want to speak about something powerful, the signs God is preparing you for a major breakthrough in your life. Many of us have felt stuck, burdened, or as though we are walking through a wilderness with no end in sight. But what if I told you that those very struggles could be the signs of something extraordinary about to unfold? When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the clearest signs is discomfort. It's not the kind of discomfort that comes from ordinary struggles or inconveniences, but a deeper sense of being stretched, challenged, and pushed beyond what feels manageable. This discomfort often catches us off guard because we naturally equate hardship with punishment or failure. Yet, in God's divine plan, discomfort is the catalyst for transformation. It's His way of preparing us for something greater than we could imagine. Think about it. No significant change ever happens in the comfort zone. Growth demands that we step into the unknown, face challenges, and endure temporary pain. In fact, the very pressure you feel right now is likely the evidence that God is at work behind the scenes. He is shifting things in your life, relationships, circumstances, and even your mindset, not to punish you, but to position you for His purpose. This process often feels like chaos because it disrupts what we know and what we are used to. Discomfort also has a way of revealing what's inside of us. When we are pressed, what is hidden in our hearts, fear, doubt, faith, or perseverance comes to the surface. God uses this refining process to strengthen our character and shape us into vessels that can carry the weight of the blessing He is preparing for us. If we were to receive the breakthrough without this preparation, we might not have the maturity or wisdom to sustain it. So instead of seeing discomfort as a setback, we should recognize it as a divine setup for something extraordinary. It's important to understand that God's preparation is always intentional. The challenges you are facing are not random, they are orchestrated with purpose. Just as a potter molds clay through pressure, spinning, and heat, God is shaping you to reflect His vision for your life. He is molding you into someone who can not only receive the breakthrough, but also steward it well. This is why we must resist the urge to escape the process prematurely. If you step out of the fire too soon, the transformation remains incomplete. In moments of discomfort, it's easy to question God's presence or His plan. You might find yourself asking, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? These are natural questions, but they are also opportunities to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why me? Begin asking, what is God teaching me in this season? This mindset doesn't minimize the pain, but allows you to see the purpose within it. Think of the stories of great individuals in Scripture who faced incredible discomfort before their breakthroughs. Joseph was thrown into a pit and sold into slavery. Yet his time in discomfort prepared him to save nations. David endured years of being pursued by Saul before he stepped into his role as king. Even Jesus, before his resurrection, endured the ultimate discomfort on the cross. Their pain was not the end of the story. It was the necessary pathway to their purpose. The same principle applies to your life. That job loss, that broken relationship, that season of uncertainty, these are not random misfortunes. There are divine markers that God is preparing you for something greater. He is working all things together for your good, even when it doesn't feel like it. So, if you find yourself in a season of discomfort, don't lose heart. Instead, lean into the process with faith, knowing that God is faithful. He never starts a work in us without finishing it. Discomfort is temporary, but the transformation it brings is eternal. Stay the course, because what lies ahead is far greater than anything you're leaving behind. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the unmistakable signs is a sense of restlessness stirring deep within your spirit. It's not the kind of restlessness born out of impatience or dissatisfaction, but a divine unease that makes you feel as though there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing. This stirring is God's way of awakening your spirit to the extraordinary plans He has for you. It's His gentle nudge, reminding you that you weren't created to settle for mediocrity or to live a life that is less than what He has designed for you. This restlessness often begins as a whisper of feeling that something is missing or that there's a greater purpose waiting for you to step into. Over time, it grows, tugging at your heart and mind, urging you to pursue what feels just out of reach. It can be unsettling because it disrupts the familiar and challenges you to look beyond the comfort of your current situation. This is not an accident, it's intentional. God uses this divine discontent to prepare you for the next level of your purpose. In these moments, you may find yourself questioning everything. Why do the things that used to bring you joy now feel empty? Why do you feel so unsettled in places where you once felt secure? This is God's way of shifting your focus from what is to what could be. He is drawing your attention to the areas of your life that no longer align with where He is taking you. It's not that those things were bad, but they were for a different season. The restlessness you feel is God signaling that a new season is on the horizon. This stirring often leads to a hunger for more meaning, more impact, and more alignment with God's will. You may find yourself craving deeper relationships, greater challenges, or a stronger connection with God. This is not coincidental. That hunger is God's invitation to seek Him more intentionally. It's in this seeking that He begins to reveal the next steps of your journey. As you spend time in prayer, worship, and reflection, He plants seeds of vision and clarity in your heart. What's important to understand is that this restlessness is not meant to frustrate you, but to activate you. It's a call to action, a divine push to take steps toward the plans God has for you. Too often resist this stirring because it requires change, and change is uncomfortable. But resisting this call only prolongs the process. When you embrace the restlessness and allow it to guide you, you step into alignment with God's timing and purpose. Think of Abraham, who felt the call to leave his homeland and step into the unknown, trusting that God had something greater in store for him. Think of Nehemiah, whose heart was stirred with discontent for the broken walls of Jerusalem, prompting him to lead a movement of restoration. In each case, their restlessness was a divine signpost pointing them toward their breakthrough. You may also notice that during this time, distractions begin to lose their grip on you. The things that once held your attention, whether it's certain habits, relationships, or pursuits, no longer satisfy. This is not a coincidence. It's part of God's process of refining your focus. He is stripping away anything that could hinder you from stepping into your breakthrough. The key is to trust the stirring and lean into it with faith. Instead of running from the discomfort of restlessness, ask God what He is preparing you for. Listen to His voice, trust His guidance, and take the steps He places before you, no matter how uncertain they may feel. Restlessness is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of transformation. When you follow the stirring in your spirit, you'll find yourself stepping into a life that is fuller, richer, and more aligned with God's divine purpose. Stay sensitive to this stirring, for it's God's way of aligning you with the extraordinary plans He has already set in motion. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the clearest and sometimes most frustrating signs is the closing of doors and the experience of unexpected delays. These moments can feel like rejection or failure, leaving you questioning your path and even doubting whether you're moving in the right direction. But here's the truth. Closed doors are not a sign of abandonment. Instead, they are a divine redirection, a way for God to protect you from paths that don't align with His perfect plan for your life. When a door closes, our natural response is often disappointment. We fixate on the opportunity we thought we needed or the timeline we were certain was right. But God sees what we cannot. He knows the challenges that lie ahead on the road you were eager to take. And He knows whether you're ready for what's on the other side. A closed door is often His way of saying, not yet, or I have something better. It's not a punishment, it's a preparation. Delays operate in much the same way. We live in a world that values speed, where waiting feels like wasting time. Yet, in God's kingdom, waiting is never wasted. It is in the waiting that He refines us, shapes us, and equips us for the breakthrough that is to come. Think of it like a season of training. Just as an athlete prepares tirelessly for the moment of competition, God uses the delay to build your strength, resilience, and character so that you're ready to handle what's ahead. In these moments, it's easy to grow impatient, to feel as though time is slipping away or that opportunities are passing you by. But God's timing is never early, never late, it's always perfect. The doors He closes and the pauses He introduces are part of His meticulous plan to align you with His will. He doesn't just prepare the blessing for you, he prepares you for the blessing. Sometimes these closed doors and delays serve to redirect our focus. We may have become so attached to our own plans, our own desires, and our own understanding of what success looks like that we lose sight of God's higher purpose. When a door closes, it forces us to stop, reevaluate, and listen for his voice. It's in these moments of pause that God often reveals a better path, one we wouldn't have considered if everything had gone according to our original plan. Consider the story of Joseph. He faced countless closed doors, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. Each of these moments must have felt like a delay, a denial of the dreams he had as a young boy. Yet, every setback was a setup for his breakthrough. When the time was right, God elevated him to a position of authority where he could save nations. The delays were not wasted, they were necessary to prepare him for the magnitude of his calling. In your own life, those moments of rejection, disappointment, and waiting are not without purpose. They are God's way of orchestrating something greater. You may feel as though you've missed an opportunity, but the truth is, you cannot miss what God has reserved for you. The doors he closes are as much a part of his plan as the ones he opens. The key is to trust him in the process. Instead of striving to force open doors that have been closed, focus on seeking his guidance. Ask him to reveal his purpose in the delay and to show you the lessons he wants you to learn. Trust that his timing is not just good, it's perfect. So if you're facing closed doors or unexpected delays, don't lose hope. They are not the end of your journey, but the markers of a new beginning. God is at work, aligning every detail of your life with his greater plan. Trust him. Remain faithful, and know that the breakthrough is coming right on time. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the most evident signs is increased opposition or resistance. It's a paradox that often confuses us. Just when you're stepping closer to what feels like your purpose, the challenges begin to multiply. Obstacles appear out of nowhere. People misunderstand you, and situations that once felt manageable seem to turn against you. But what if I told you that this resistance is not a sign of failure or misdirection, but confirmation that you're on the right path? Resistance arises because what you are pursuing is significant. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't a threat. When you step into alignment with God's purpose for your life, it draws attention not just from those who will support you, but also from forces that aim to stop you. Opposition is often the clearest indicator that you're moving toward a breakthrough, not away from it. It's important to recognize that this resistance can take many forms. It might come through external circumstances like financial difficulties, unexpected setbacks, or strained relationships. But it can also manifest internally as self-doubt, fear, or overwhelming pressure. These challenges are not random. They are strategically placed to test your resolve, refine your character, and deepen your reliance on God. Consider the story of David. Before he became king, he faced immense resistance from King Saul, who sought to kill him. David's life was marked by moments of running, hiding, and enduring betrayal. To an outsider, it may have looked like David's life was falling apart. But in reality, God was using these trials to prepare him for the throne. Each challenge strengthened his leadership, faith, and humility, shaping him into the king Israel needed. Increased opposition often serves another purpose. It separates the superficial from the genuine. When the path becomes difficult, it forces you to evaluate why you're pursuing your goal in the first place. Are you chasing recognition, comfort, or personal ambition? Or are you committed to God's calling, no matter the cost? Resistance strips away the unnecessary and helps you focus on what truly matters. Another critical aspect of resistance is that it pushes you to grow. Just as muscles are strengthened through resistance in physical training, your spiritual and emotional strength is developed through the challenges you face. Without resistance, there would be no growth. The obstacles you encounter are not meant to destroy you, but to build you into someone capable of blessings and blessabilities that come with your breakthrough. In these moments of opposition, it's essential to stay grounded in God's promises. When you face criticism, failure, or rejection, remember that these are not the final word on your situation. God's word is. He has promised never to leave you or forsake you, and his plans for you are for good and not harm. Lean on his truth, even when circumstances seem to contradict it. It's also crucial to surround yourself with the right people during seasons of resistance. Isolation can make challenges feel insurmountable, but community brings encouragement and perspective. Seek out mentors, friends, or a faith community who can remind you of God's faithfulness and help you stay focused on his promises. Above all, remember that opposition is temporary, but God's purpose is eternal. Every challenge you face is part of a larger story, one that leads to victory. The resistance you experience today is preparing you for the triumph of tomorrow. It's shaping you into someone who can not only receive a breakthrough, but steward it for God's glory. So, if you're feeling the weight of opposition, don't lose heart. It's not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're moving forward. Trust the process, stay anchored in God's truth. And know that the resistance is not the end, it's the evidence that your breakthrough is on the horizon. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the most significant signs is the waiting. Waiting is not a passive state, but an active season of preparation where God works on you in ways you may not immediately see or understand. In our fast-paced world, waiting often feels frustrating or even pointless. But in God's plan, the waiting is never wasted. It is the fertile ground where growth, refinement, and readiness take root. During seasons of waiting, it can feel like time is standing still, especially when you're eager to see progress. You might begin to wonder if God has forgotten you, or if you somehow missed your moment. But God's delays are not denials, they are purposeful pauses designed to prepare you for the weight of the breakthrough he has planned for your life. In these moments, it's vital to remember that while you're waiting, God is working. He's aligning circumstances, opening the right doors, and preparing the way so that when the breakthrough comes, it will be at the perfect time. This season is also about preparation, not just for the breakthrough itself, but for the person you need to become to handle it. God uses waiting to mold your character, sharpen your vision, and strengthen your faith. It's in the waiting that you learn patience, perseverance, and trust. These qualities are essential, not just for receiving the breakthrough, but for stewarding it well. Without these lessons, the blessing could overwhelm or even harm you. Think of the life of Moses. Before leading the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness tending sheep. To the outside world, it might have seemed like a waste of time. But in reality, God was using that time to prepare Moses for his calling. In the solitude of the wilderness, Moses learned in humility, leadership, and reliance on God. When the time came for him to lead millions, he was ready because of the preparation that had taken place in the waiting. Waiting also provides an opportunity for deeper intimacy with God. When progress seems slow or non-existent, it forces you to turn to him for guidance, comfort, and strength. This dependence deepens your relationship with him, teaching you to trust his timing and his plan. It's often in these quiet, waiting moments that God reveals himself in ways you might not have experienced otherwise. In the waiting, God also works on pruning. He removes things from your life that are not aligned with his purpose for you. This might be habits, relationships, or even attitudes that could hinder the breakthrough he has for you. Pruning is never easy, it can feel painful and confusing, but it's necessary for growth. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to ensure it bears more fruit, God prunes us to make us more fruitful in his kingdom. Another critical aspect of waiting is that it refines your focus. In a season of stillness, you have the chance to assess what truly matters. You begin to see the difference between distractions and priorities. This clarity is crucial as you prepare to step into the opportunities God has for you. Without it, you might find yourself overwhelmed or misaligned when the breakthrough comes. Seasons of waiting are also times when God strengthens your faith. Faith is not just believing when things are going well. It's trusting God when there's no visible evidence of progress. It's standing firm in the promise he gave you, even when everything around you seems to suggest otherwise. This kind of faith is what sustains you through challenges and equips you to handle the blessings that come with a breakthrough. So if you find yourself in a season of waiting, don't lose hope or grow weary. Trust that God is using this time to prepare you in ways you may not yet understand. He is faithful, and his timing is perfect. When the breakthrough comes, You look back on this season and realize that every moment of waiting was worth it. Stay patient, stay prayerful, and know that God's plan is unfolding right on time. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, one of the most crucial signs is a deep sense of alignment within yourself and your surroundings. This alignment isn't just about circumstances falling into place, it's about your heart, your mind, and your life coming into harmony with God's greater purpose for you. Alignment with God's plan means that He is working to prepare you not just for the breakthrough itself, but for everything that comes with it, the responsibility, the blessings, the opportunities, and the challenges. One of the first ways God aligns you is by aligning your heart. He works within you to purify your desires, motives, and intentions. Before a breakthrough can truly be received, God needs to ensure that your heart is in the right place. He doesn't want you to seek success or blessings for selfish reasons or to satisfy personal ambitions. True alignment means that your heart is aligned with His will, seeking to glorify Him and fulfill the purpose He has for you. This process can be challenging because it involves surrendering your own desires and submitting to His higher plan. But as you do, your heart becomes more attuned to His voice, and you begin to seek what He wants over what you want. God also aligns your mind during this time. The way you think, perceive, and interpret life begins to shift as you align with His truth. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and limitations start to be replaced by thoughts of faith, confidence, and possibility. You begin to see your circumstances not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. This change in perspective is essential because it prepares you mentally to handle the challenges and successes that come with the breakthrough. Your mindset becomes one that is focused on God's promises rather than on your limitations. Another way God aligns you is by arranging the people and circumstances in your life. The right relationships begin to form and the wrong ones fade away. People who can support, encourage, and challenge you are placed in your life at just the right time, while those who might distract or hinder you are moved out. This alignment in relationships is vital because the people you surround yourself with will either help propel you toward your breakthrough or pull you away from it. God knows exactly who you need in your life, and He works to bring these individuals into your path when the timing is right. Sometimes this alignment may also involve changing your environment. You might find yourself in situations or places that seem unfamiliar or unexpected, but these changes are often part of God's plan to align you with the breakthrough He has in store. Just as a key must fit into the right lock, your life needs to be in the right environment to fully receive the blessing God has prepared. These shifts may not always make sense at first, but if you trust God's guidance, you'll begin to see how each change fits into the bigger picture. Alignment also happens through God's timing. God's plan is never rushed, and He doesn't work on your timeline. He works according to His. When you align yourself with His timing, you begin to understand that delays, waiting, and detours are not obstacles, but part of His perfect plan. In these moments, you learn patience and trust, waiting with the assurance that God is in control and that everything is falling into place exactly as it should. This trust in His timing helps you step into the breakthrough without fear or doubt, knowing that it has been prepared specifically for you. When you are aligned with God's plan, you begin to see your life through His eyes. You understand that everything you've gone through, every challenge, every victory, every season of waiting has been shaping you for this moment. The breakthrough is not just an event, but the culmination of all the preparation that God has been doing in your life. Your alignment with His plan enables you to walk confidently into your breakthrough, ready to receive and steward the blessings He has in store. So, if you find yourself in a season of alignment, trust that God is positioning you for something greater. He is aligning your heart, your mind, your relationships, and your circumstances so that when the breakthrough comes, you are fully prepared to step into it. Rest in the assurance that God's perfect plan is unfolding in your life. Trust Him in the process, for the breakthrough is not just the destination, it's the product of divine alignment, and it's coming at the right time. In conclusion, as we journey through life and face the challenges and opportunities that come our way, we must recognize that every moment of preparation, opposition, delay, and waiting is not by deism, but by divine design. When God is preparing you for a major breakthrough, He is aligning your heart, mind, and circumstances, all while refining your character and deepening your trust in Him. The restlessness you feel, the closed doors, the resistance, the waiting, all of these are signs that God is at work molding you into someone capable of receiving and stewarding His greatest blessings. Remember, God's timing is perfect, and His plan for you is far greater than anything you could ever imagine. As you navigate through these seasons of preparation, hold on to His promises and trust that He is guiding you toward a breakthrough that will transform your life in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Good luck as you continue on your journey of growth and preparation. Keep your faith strong, remain patient, and trust that your breakthrough is coming. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these powerful truths. May you be encouraged and inspired to step boldly into the next season of your life, knowing that God has already gone before you and is working behind the scenes to bring your breakthrough to fruition.